Hey, everybody. How are you doing? Welcome. We are doing a live stream on a Wednesday. My name's John Limcool. John Skippy Limcool. Let's see. Closer. We are having fun. There's 2 new libraries and all sorts of sales stuff. So I want to kind of just give you the details. This is a patch. I need to do everything faster. I'm not fast enough with all this stuff. This is from ReCycle. Oh, my eyes are a little watery. This is a library of samples from this Electrons Cycles. And it's a really cool little groove box. And I really enjoyed working with it. And I sampled like over 500 samples from it. So this library has a whole lot of places it can go. 180 patches, so there's a lot here. If you go down here, you'll see that there are, let's see, drum sets. There's 6 different sets. Actually, the 7th set is kind of like a best of kicks. The various snares. Oh, I need to get my MIDI keyboard working. Right? Then hi-hats and cymbals. Then basses, synth sounds, and chords. 6 different sets are like this. Each one, you're gonna find a whole different set of sounds and just start writing right here just from the map if you want. I'm going to show you some tricks here in a little bit on how to get deeper into using this library. But let me just give you an overview because there's a whole lot of stuff. There's 2 libraries that we've released for Unify that are available for $19 each. This is one of them. This is a $49 library, but for Black Friday week, it's actually for 5 days. It's $19. So it's available at the site. There's also a free version of this. There is what's called ReCycle LITE, which is 65 patches, only 2 of the sets of kick, snares, hats. Kick, snares, hats, all this kind of stuff. Right? So you have all these cool sounds. There's some BPM splits just to get you going. There's, you know. Just to give you kind of a taste of what's possible. There's many more patches and grooves. There's some BPM drums here for the 2 sets. Basses. Gotta have fart man, right? You know, as well as chords, keys, perk, plucks, and all these kinds of sounds. Let me make sure I'm talking to somebody. Hey guys, Simeon. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Hello, welcome. It's good to see you. About 3 hours ago, thank you. So yeah, this library is for those of you that love the electronic side of synthesis and stuff. We want to do a little bit of everything. All this is available, by the way, at my website. Let me do some plugging because that's what we're here for, right? If we go to the beginning of the whole banner thing, there, Black Friday sale. Unify's $59, 51% all of the libraries. If you hit the products page, kind of crazy. I've been doing this since 2009, so I'm kind of an old fart at all this. But there are over 100 products, and they're all 51% off for 5 days. I've never ever done 51% off at my store, but I want to do the best sale I've ever done, and so there it is, 51%. So all of these libraries for Omnisphere, for Massive, for FM8, for Razor, Break Tweaker, Serum, some contact libraries, and then a whole bunch of libraries for Unify are 51% off. If you go to the home page, just to simplify the search, there's buttons here you can click. So if you want to see just the Break Tweaker libraries, you can click this, and it will show you the 3 libraries we have for Break Tweaker. If you want the wave state, I normally have a bundle. I'm selling I turn bundles off because bundles are 30% discounts, and this is 51%. So it's a much bigger discount to build your own bundle right now during this sale. So you can pick out all you want. If you go to Unify, it will start to show lots of libraries that are available. There's a lot for Unify. So it's really exciting how far Unify has come since we released it about almost 4 years ago in 2020, January 2020 is when we released Unify. And there's a public beta, a version available of Unify that has better Apple Silicon support. If you go to the Unify tab, you can see about this. You can get the update by logging in and going to your My Products page here at the website, or just go to ilio.com/DL-Unify. And if you scroll down here, 1.11.1, it's a lot to say, beta is available. And there's one critical thing that this fixed that the vocal library made clear. I don't use EQ a lot, but for airy vocals, I wanted to use a little bit more EQ at times. So ReCycle Electronics, it's this stuff. The other library that's $19 and available right now is Vocalesque. This is an unbelievably beautiful library of vocal ethereal pads. And Flex EQ, I'm using to get a bit of air. And I never realized this, but since the beginning of Unify, it has read back these settings not quite correctly and only gave you about maybe 30% of what it was supposed to give you back. There was a misreading between the data and whether it was dBs or other things. I explained it to Shane, and shortly thereafter, we had a fix. So now it truly calls up, and these EQ settings are preserved. Any version before this, believe it or not, they weren't preserved. It would call back just a little bit more mellow sounding, but now it goes calling back the way it is. Now this is basically, Vocalesque is partially the ethereal sound. Like, I see dust on this. I did a library in 2017 for Omnisphere called Creaturesque, and that was also featuring the singer of this library, Kathy Talbot. But that was a library that was both ethereal stuff and then a whole bunch of spooky phrases and sound effects and sound design, because she does incredible trailer music score. She's a film score composer. Just really cool stuff. I have examples I'm going to show you. In fact, this coming Saturday, she's going to be here in person on the live stream to say hi to everybody. But for this library, we decided to focus just on ethereal and not the horror side of things. That's just something we can do maybe next Halloween or something like that. So this is a library that literally is almost nothing but just beautiful pads. I did some of the solar pads. I played them as synths. This is so if you love Enya, if you love any of that kind of stuff. And this library is only $19. It's a $49 library when it goes onto its retail setting. But for Black Friday, I like to say thank you to all you guys and find ways of offering. How does Vocalesque compare? It's very different because it focuses only on ethereal. And so it has some of the group and the Dream Vox from Creaturesque. But these, like the angelic crescendos, these are new that Kathy sampled, we created. Oz in Heaven is new. Sleepy Time is new. There's 5, and these are multi-samples versus a single sample across the keyboard, so there's a different vibe as you play across the keyboard. It's not just one sample transposed like the Omnisphere library. So this doesn't exist in the Omnisphere version. Also, unique to this is I had an idea for Kathy to try. I did it too, but I didn't include them. Chants, where let's see if we get up here. Where is the easiest way to show you? Probably phrase, right? Right here. We did chants where
Holy Ghost, oh lantern, just hungry and painful.
We were thinking more spooky, so a lot of these are more like
Pitchfork.
pitchfork. You know, they're not the ethereal, so we have to do a new. When we do Vocalesque Volume 2, we'll do like ethereal things. But there is
Unify.
And there's
Heartbeat. Cold. Deadly. Desperate. Outrageous.
So there's over 60 of these phrases where Kathy said them both whispered. Let's see where there's the light version was whispered.
Holy Ghost.
And then talking, soft talking.
Holy Ghost.
And then she actually did normal voice talking and then yelling like you're dying. But they got a little bit too carried away. Yes, I'm not in love. It could definitely be done for doing that type of thing. So there's these phrases, right? So I used those to do some really creative, fun things. If we get up here to, we did rhythmic stuff. So if you go up to like chill chant, I made a drum kit by shortening the envelopes. One cool thing inside of Unify, if we go to phrases, like here's the light. If you go into Unify, this LFO is a very cool secret weapon that I use for all sorts of things. You can go down here and change this to be a custom shape. Design the shape that you want for an envelope. And like, let's have this be like a gated effect, right? But we'll have it be a little bit curved with a nice curve shape. And then if you bring up the amp to 100%, and then you set it to one shot, it's now an envelope. It's an amp envelope. So, and it's only mono, unfortunately, as far as the re-triggering, so it can't play like polyphonically. I wish it could. Can't. But you can use it in creative ways if you make sequences where you only play one thing at a time. So I use that to make all sorts of, to start with these groove things, or phrases. As well as things where it's more chanting things that get into like, or how about Unify? And then if you tweet that and like turn down the normal voice and make it more whisper, And if you go to the BPM pads, here's Let's Unify, where it's and if you bring up the mod wheel, it filters the speaking phrase. See how it's filtering right there? So you make it go away. They just had a nice pad. So, the world needs a little unity, so I didn't think it was bad to have a little positive message. This has heartbeat in it. And there's a kick and a snare hidden. So if we're going to kick on and hats on, that turns on layers 4 and 5. So you can do a whole dance track with this. And there's other ones here, sample and hold air dance. So I'm going for the award for most bang for the buck for $19. I think this library is a pretty good candidate. Check this out. This is Life Cycles. Because you heard I like this chill chant. Well, I took that quite a bit farther and made a split. Got it nice, cool. So you can play. And I put it so that it's got a mod wheel to start the drum groove. So that way the drum groove keeps going. So you got that to play with. One last thing to show you here that's really cool. If you go to pads, Maui Meditations is fun. On the mod wheel is the ocean. I recorded this in Maui in 2016. I took my daughter there once. And then while that's playing, you have this really beautiful, the Angel Crescendos is one of the new sample maps that is in this. It's not inside of the Creaturesse version of the library. And it can play like this. It slowly fades out. So for those of you that are into meditative and healing music, this is ready for healing. You know? So it's a fun library. There's 140 patches. It goes everywhere from chants and, you know,
Push, bleed, push, coast, push, bleed, push, coast, push.
and let's check this out. So if we combine this with ReCycle, which is the new library of dance patches and so forth, there's these BPM starting patches that I put in here. Like if you go BPM kick, let's go to mode and say instrument one only, because we only need to just get this. Let's say we get a kick. Let's get a couple different hi-hats and pan those left and right. And let's get a BPM snare. And boom. So you can go some crazy places with these two libraries really quickly. Let's take the vocals and put them up here. And actually, let's put all the drums up there too, so that the left hand can be doing a bass sound. And so if we go up here to the top, I have these BPM bass patches. I'm going to show you in a minute how easy it is to make BPM bass patches. So let's say teeter totter. And actually, let's do this. I'm going to take the kick. Where's the kick? I should go like this so it tells me the snap moves. I think this is, let's just do this. Let's move all these groove parts. The cool thing with Unify is if you right click in the middle of the bar above, if it's a key zone, you can move the key zone manually. And if you click up here, you can actually click and drag to change that. So let's bring it down to B2. The other way, of course, to do this is really cool, is to just right click on all of these guys and say, let's see, bring this down here first, and the bass like that, B. Let's see if I can double time this. Instead of eighth notes, let's say 16th. It's just that easy and that fun. Let's see. I want to have this maybe not be fixed. I want it to be like. And if we go over here to BPM chord, we have these guys we can load just by clicking. So let's say mirror, mirror, and have it stop at B2. And then maybe up an octave for this since it's not. So here, I'm going to save up a couple bonus patches as we play along. So let's go. This is a BPM split. Let's see. Techno Ghost. I was going to call it 9-inch Ghost, but we won't do that. Go to user library, save as. I'll give these all to you on Saturday. We'll play more on Saturday, and then come Saturday, and my computer's waking up. There we go. Save. And well, here, we'll make a couple more as we go along here. And then at the end of the live stream, I will give you guys a link to these patches. You need to own both the full ReCycle version as well as the Vocalesque libraries, and I will give you these patches. Yeah. So the bass, I want to point out real quickly, I had a lot of fun. The bass sounds inside of the ReCycle library are insanely great. All these. Right? And I made some BPM bass patches, so here they are. There's 1, 2, wait. 3. And just to hear how it sounds, let's do this. Let's go here. Unify layer, BPM kick. Let's get a hat. So it's designed for this kind of thing, right? I really love the K Rider. I'm using CC Rider, doing a crazy shape that's modulating the decay of the open hi-hat. If you look down here at this knob, and if you want to, you can open up this Guru sampler, and if you use transpose, this is a menu of kicks. There's like, all of these are kick samples. A lot of kick samples. So you just transpose. And if you want, I'll show you a cool tip. If you go to MIDI box, there is this thing called the offset. Which is shifting the note. And if you go over here to, let's say, a page, in fact, I think we can do it this way. If you turn on the ear and then you move this parameter, boom. Now you can automate changing your kicks in real time in your sequencing. So it's very, very powerful how it's all designed. Love Unify. Love Unify. 4 years later, and I'm still coming up with new tricks and new things. There's a couple things in this ReCycle library. There's one in particular, Planet Unify. I've spent probably 6 hours making this one patch. And I think for those of you on the phones and stuff, I need to turn up just bass insanity just a little bit to get a little distortion. But this is one of these. A knob with 25 patterns would be great. You got it already, my friend. If you go up to the BPM drum patches, there's over, I think, 55, 56 of them. These got a knob to change patterns. And these are different sets. I did a set of, I believe, up to 8 or so patterns per set, because there's 6 different sets. I decided not to tell you what set is what over here. It doesn't matter. It's all samples from this lovely thing, my little cycles. And so as you go through and call up one of these, this knob lets you go through all sorts of patterns I made for each one of these. And if you go to Unify layer and click, there's 4 playing at once, just like that. But here, check this out. This BPM split was really fun. Planet Unify does a, which, by the way, if you're curious how you get this type of stuff, this is using an LFO on a sine wave. If solo this just for a second, I'll show you. I found a really cool minimal track that I dug, and I kind of like reverse engineer what they were doing it. That is created with a square wave LFO on pitch. And then you define, like if you say 12, that's doing an octave above the normal pitch and an octave below. So it's actually a 3 octave range. 7. But it seems like the sweet spot is like 4. So if you take this and let's see, let's turn off the snare. I'm using the layer enable facility inside of Unify so that. And then I have this mod wheel. So you got a kick drum with reverb and high pass filtering. And then over here's the bass insanity knob, which is speeding up that LFO and adding distortion. And if you sequence this, I can't do it in real time, but if you then turn these parts on, so you've got the ability to do that, and then if you switch this from right hand effects or synth to this side, you get an effect. And this adds the LFO. Let's go over here and add the snare. So you can do a complete minimal trance breakdown track with this one patch. And then this knob here, it adds a pump house to the kick, which makes it shut up for 3 beats. So it's chilling just on the downbeats. So I had like half a day spent just making this one patch to put everything into place. And there's all these other ones like this is using wave sequencing, like this chord part. If you open up this Unify, it's playing all sorts of different chord hits that are part of this library of samples. Right? I just counted out how many parts my sequence was going to be, and then I made that many steps and picked up the sounds. You know, stuff like that. It's really fun. Some Bossy Berlin. There's Roller Skate Date. Right? So these are all really cool things, something gnarl. Kick in your face. There's some for fun. And it sounds great. Right? So That's the ReCycle library. There's a free version, but all these sequences I'm showing you, Bossy Berlin is there. And Raven is there. But all the other ones I've been showing you are not included in part of that, right? So then there's all the BPM snare breakdowns. So if you want, you could start from like, say, a BPM bass patch. And I was going to tell you really quickly how you can make your own. If you open up Blue Arp, there's all of these patterns inside of it. And so just cycle around. Like that works. It needs to be down. So check over here. Some of these were set to a key. So turn that off. Take it down an octave or two. So we got that. Go here to your mode, set it to instrument 1 only. Go down here, look for BPM kicks. Of course, I chose one that's got not a 4 on the floor. So if you want, you can hold down Option and say, let's try again. Hard techno or deep house. Then we go here. Let's get some hard upsell. Go to snare. Let's get a techno fashionista and take this up an octave. Right? Playing just a couple of those left hand. Right? So, I mean, we have this enable and disable in Unify. If you click the little MIDI indicator lights, when it's grayed out, it doesn't play. And what's really cool with this versus the mute and solo over here, this immediately mutes it. And sometimes you hear an audio click. What's fun with this is you can turn on parts and turn off parts that don't change until you play a new note. Right? So it's fun to do all sorts of fun things like that. So yeah, this kit library is really, really powerfully, it's great. There's a lot of fun sounds here to play with. Really. If you need dancey kind of sounds. Good, guys. Yay! Bet you guys like what we're doing. This library is $19. But only until next Tuesday, the 27th. Unify right now is also on sale for $59. That was the price that we released Unify at in 2020. And we haven't sold it for that price since. And so if you want to get it at a very nice price, I think maybe we did one sale where it was $59 like a couple years ago. But it's been a long time since it's been on sale like this. $59 for Unify, $20 off its price. Is there anything than the effects EQ to... That's what... There's a couple small, there's always people reporting things with certain sequencers that Shane is fixing, that kind of stuff. Hey, MIDI Head's here. Hey, dude. Yeah. The main thing was the EQ. For some reason, the Flex EQ settings were not being saved in previous version of Unify. They were saved. I should clarify that. They were saved and they were making a difference. But it wasn't it was a fraction of what it was. And it wasn't until I got to the vocal library where I needed more air. Let me go to that library. So there's 2 libraries for $19. There's this library, and there's also Vocalesque, which has all sorts of beautiful vocal pads, ethereal. There he is. Yeah, we've got most of the issues swept up. The main thing for this update, it's one of these things where Juice keeps updating to a newer version of their basic whole, I don't know, programming stuff, but the architecture. And Unify had to be reconnected to everything. So it's Unify, but it's Unify on a different Juice basic platform. And this new updated platform, they've been able to deal with a lot of the Apple silicone issues. It really threw a wrench because Apple put different speed processors into these new computers. Those efficiency cores versus the DSP cores run at different rates. And audio doesn't like that. And if you went over here and you click the settings or something like this, all of a sudden this little CPU meter would just start freaking out, just dancing all over the place. That's all been fixed. But Unify has been reconnected to this updated version of the Juice platform, both PC and Mac. So if you find anything that's not working right, please contact us, unifysupport@plugandgoo.com. We actively try to keep on top of things. Skippy time. Which one is that? I don't think, is there a Skippy time or Sleepy time? I think Sleepy time is what you mean, right? Sleepy time is wonderful. This is... Yeah, so beautiful stuff. And then what's fun with this library, in comparing it to the other version, which was Creature-esque, a lot of these patches down here you'll see are similar. The Latin, these are so fun. Kathy Talbot, my friend that sang, that's a singer that did this library, she sang these Latin phrases with all sorts of melody things in them, and then I use Melodyne to remove those so that when you play a note, there's no longer right? So now you can play these chord things, just play chords, and you have all these syllables being sang, and it's not at the same time because it's we can't do that in the first place, but it's also kind of cool that, right? Well, no, we're better with the M1. Broken M1. Right. Yes, it was a broken M1. I'd been working at Korg for maybe a year or two. And when I first started working for Korg in 1988, I worked in Canoga Park down in Los Angeles, in actually the San Fernando Valley. And it was a warehouse for distribution, and they had a repair center. And so Mason was this guy that was working doing the repairs, and he would always get weird things in. And this one time he got this M1 in that somebody had dropped or something. And so part of the DC board has been broken off. So it was basically running at about 5 bits. And so a lot of the sounds in the Rad Waves library are from this broken M1 that I sampled that had just low bit resolution to it and stuff like that. Really, really, really cool. That's a fun library. I love that library. Yeah. Everything at the website, by the way, is 51% off. So let me do, I need to keep doing these plugs. That's why we're here. Let you guys know what's going on, because we're doing Black Friday. That's over here. I gotta do this. Hold on a second, guys. I'll disappear because I gotta go like that. Don't show that. There. So at pluginguru.com, if you hit the products button, it takes you to this endless sprawling page. There's like over 100 libraries and products now. I can't believe it keeps growing so much, but I keep working with these wonderful people that create wonderful things. And so Fred has some great libraries here for all the subsonic arts that we sell here. They're 51% off. Make sure if you have Unify that you get the Unify Guru Nation Collective. That's an unbelievable free library with like tons of samples. A whole bunch of you guys made patches for that library. It's just a wonderful resource. It's so beautiful. Also, make sure you get labs. I'll talk about that in a minute more. But Mega Magic Harp, Mega Magic Bliss, this unbelievable library of guitars with these. I mean, let me show that. This is my favorite libraries. Mega Magic Guitars, Volume 3. Do this. Go down to the BPM split to, where is it at? Not BPM split, just split. The very bottom here. And go to right here, United Bliss. Because this has the acoustic bass with its Bliss effects. And then up here, love that. Love. That's a fun library. So all these libraries are 51% off. On and on and on for Break Tweaker, really cool libraries. For Razor, for Massive, for FM8, for Serum, for Omnisphere, there's 40 libraries. If you want, you can go to the home page and instead you can click these buttons and it will show you just libraries. If you want to see all the libraries that have been done for Omnisphere, there's a lot. I don't do libraries for Omnisphere anymore because they get pirated just like crazy. It's a nightmare. And I don't like selling something that people just can like sell for incredible. Like there's a loser in Florida right now that sells virtually all my libraries plus like 30 other libraries for $29. And I can't close them down. There's nothing we can do. So I don't do libraries for non-protected. It's just there's people that are evil and will just steal and not even think about it and put Facebook groups for themselves. It's a nightmare. And so I can't do that. But I started with Omnisphere and I'm proud of these libraries. And I thank all of you that still buy them from me because you can find them on the net for near nothing all the time or torrent them if you really wanted to. But so many of you are awesome customers that do the right thing. There's over 40 libraries for Omnisphere and they're all 51% off. So it's a great opportunity to get that going. For Unify, there's now, we're up to like 30 libraries, I think. So all sorts of really cool things here. There's free libraries. So make sure you get like Uniscream, which has pipe organs and screaming samples and laughing samples and stuff like that. 808 Days got 808 drum kits. That's a free library. And then I mentioned it briefly, the collective. Make sure that you get the collective. I have that plugin Guru Nation Collective. All this 464 patches, just incredible. All this BPM stuff, as well as things before that. There's actually like, let me show you some stuff here. There's like a piano. There's this soft piano in this free library. There's a harpsichord. There's all sorts of mallets. There's guitars. We had customers sending us samples, so there's actually samples here. All sorts of customers of you guys, Guru Nation, made patches for this. So there's there's xylophone, as well as vibraphone. All sorts of bells, glass sound. And then the bonus patches down here in the Z bonus patches. This is all patches made by customers. Putting things together. So this is a free library. Highly recommend for everybody to pick that up. Also, make sure that you get Spitfire Labs and then install that into Unify and then get our Unified Labs library. All of our Unified, this is one of the cool things with Unify. If you go up here and you click the Unify button, you scroll down the list after you see Unify's $59. Oh my gosh. If you scroll down the list, you'll get to where it starts this endless list. I think we're up to over 90 plugins now, where all of the patches for the plugins have been saved in Unify format. For Heaviosity things, Martin Inc., Lenar's Digital Slinth, the Wave State, Chord Prophecy, even the M1 is here, all 1,750 patches. If you have the plugin on your computer, all the Spitfire, and right here is Spitfire Labs. And we update it all the time when they add new libraries. And what's fun with that is, if those of you don't know Spitfire, if you get the Spitfire audio app, well, it's gonna update. Okay. Everything updates. When you get these installer applications, they're always updating. Hello. I'll come back in a second. I'm going to show you just how easy it is to get this going. You register at the Spitfire Audio website, and then, hello. Oh, let's go over here. And go to Labs, and then you have a download link to download anything new. As you can see, I don't have a download link for anything because I have installed everything that they have so far, I believe. Is there anything new? I don't see anything new. Nope, nothing new. So I have everything installed. Every one of these is a sample library, anywhere from a couple hundred megabytes all the way up to like multiple gigabytes for one library. Those are all saved in Unify format, which means, let's see, let's go to Unify. If I go to the lab, see it says large caps here. Each one of those is one of the libraries that you can get from them. So if you go to Whale Song, you have these samples. Somebody did crazy cool. Some fun sound design. Philip Glass, his Glass piano was recorded as one of the Labs library. Right? Gaelic voices. Which, this is the power of Unify, is I can go to Vocalesque and I can say layer 1, and I could go up here to like, let's say we combine this with, let's go to the Vox and something like, I like angelic crescendos. So now we have our Vocalesque. And then turn up reverb for the and if we go back to Labs, I have a crazy idea. They have a library. Where is it at? Christmas. So let's go over here and say Glockenspiel. And now let's turn this down. So it's very easy to combine patches from any of the unified libraries. We could even go down here to like Zebra, something like this. Let's go down and look for like maybe some sort of a cool pad. Let's add sad strings from Zebra. And because it's a unified library and the patch is right there, it's added. Here's Zebra. And what other libraries have we got here? Oh, the TX-A16. This is another free library in the unified list. So we could go here to like the full orchestra. So we have... Oh, you know what? I'm using the instrument one only. Let's option delete this because for this to work, this is a TX-816, so there's 8 layers. So instead, go over here and say Unify layer and click full orchestra, and it loads into Unify in a single layer, all 8 patches. If I solo now, there. That's what I'm supposed to do. That's 8 DX7s. So let's combine that with our little bells and our choirs. And now you're ready to... Here, I'll save this as a bonus patch for you guys. You got to own Vocalesque, and then you have to own labs with these libraries that I've showed you for this to work. But now you get this really cool, let's call it pad. Oh, I won't say that. Christmas Spirit. Alive. And let's save this to the user library, save as, save. I did a live version. I used to, my mom and dad used to own music stores. I'll tell you guys a little, let's see here. I don't even have the chat up, so I can't see what you guys are saying. Let's go here. But they own music stores, and for many years, over 20 years, my mom hosted a fundraiser at Christmas, and I would go perform Christmas songs. And so there is a Christmas album. I've already done one. For those of you who don't know, I have 2 albums on Spotify. You're welcome to check them out. If we go over here, I am known as Real Cool. And there's 2 things. There's Real Cool Christmas and there's Real Cool Featuring. And Real Cool Christmas, there is actually the Carol of the Bells is here, I believe. Where is it? Maybe I didn't. Oh, Dance of the Bells, I called it. Yeah. And so it's, let's see. I played this live. So it's more than Carol of the Bells. So there's that. There's the funky drummer
Here
dude.
we go. 1, 2, 3, 4.
So you can check out my Christmas album. And then Kathy Talbot, I've told you about her. She's the singer for Vocalesque, right? For Vocalesque. She's a dear friend of mine. We look back, it's 33 and a half years we've been friends. And when Logic Pro first got the ability in 1991 to record audio to the computer, that's when audio recording to the computer started, was in the early 90s. This song I did with Kathy. We wrote together. And she sings on it. Great stuff. So check out my music if you want. There's 2 albums. I actually want to work. I have a whole lot of instrumental tracks that I've done in the past that I want to put another album out in the next couple of months. I'm going to try to make that happen. But feel free. Check out my music. Sander. Thank you. So there's so much to cover. Let's do a quick summary, and then I'm going to say thank you for now, and then I'll be back on Saturday. Let me get you these patches that we created. We created 2 patches. We did Christmas. There's that, and then if we go to the user library, I think that's here, right? Christmas Spirit Alive, and then Techno Ghost. Not as a Unify layer, but the other one was this patch, which is using Vocalesque and ReCycle together. So yes, so I see someone asking a little bit, Peaches, Unify, when you get Unify and install it, it is installed with 640 patches, the majority made by yours truly, others by Airwave, as well as NATO, a friend of mine that does really cool dance music. He worked with me on a couple libraries for Break Tweaker that were really, really cool. But you have 647 patches, basses, splits, all sorts of things in. Let's see, is there a drum groove on this? No, this is just a pad. So you got pad, piano, and bass. It goes so many places. There's BPM stuff all over the place, all these drum grooves, tape versions, big dance versions, BPM pads that do all sorts of beautiful things. So there's a ton to play with in Unify from day one out of the box. And then you can add this collective library that we've created, which adds another 464 patches. And then if you get the Labs Unified Library, that adds 600 more patches. So you're now up to about 1,600 patches just from buying Unify. It's wonderful. It's a wonderful thing. I'm actually going to do a video in the next day or two showing just the progression of You can get over 2,000 patches inside of Unify to work with just from buying Unify, and everything else is free. So then you have access to all these beautiful sounds. And then if you go to the Labs library, what I love with the Labs library, we've done 2 revisions. We'll do another one. Where what I love to do is I love to get everybody in the community involved to make patches. So you see the Y and Z. We've done Y and Z. We're going to do a pass probably next, like February or something, when it's winter and we're all bored. We'll do an X set. But these are all made by Plugin Guru customers, what I call our Guru Collective, Guru Nation. And they go all sorts of places, combining and putting all of these things together. I mean, you go to like Big City Nomadic. They combine all of these Labs libraries. This is the sad, Labs has all of these things, but there's no facility in Labs for them to play together. And the whole reason I made Unify is so that plugins could play together and libraries can play together. So one of the cool things with this is you can go to these patches and it will call up all of these different patches from all those different Labs libraries and whatever's in Unify. Because Unify, I come from a background programming Korg synthesizers. That's what I did, and I still do. But I wanted something that could have the cool thing with like a Korg Chronos, so those workstations is there's samples inside of it that are a core, and then you can add additional sounds to it or program just with that. But you have this huge database to refer back to. And so with Unify, there's what's called the Guru sampler built into Unify right here. And there's all of these different libraries, which are little light versions of now full versions of most all of these libraries. And so this equals like 3 gigabytes of samples. So if you go to the pads, there's all these different pads from the full library, but those are always there. So even if I'm making a library like Mega Magic Guitars 3 and I've recorded guitars, I could add this pad to the guitar because it's part of the core part of Unify. So that's the design of Unify, and it's the best way to go. So these patches are using that database of Unify, all the synthesizers that are installed when you install Unify. All of these instruments are free instruments you can find on the internet that we've received permission to include in Unify. So OBXD is a really cool analog synth. It has the ability to challenge all the other OBX plugins that are out there, and in some respects, I love the nature of this a lot. I'm not going to say it's better than any. It's different. They're all different. But the ability to have panning per voice that you can control, the variations for these things, and the filter in this is just great. It's wonderful. Use it a lot. So forth. So there's all these instruments and things inside of Unify that making these unified libraries really fun, because we can combine those instruments with whatever libraries we're working on. So even though let's see, all these are all lab samples, right? Yeah. So cool stuff. So when you combine all these different libraries together, it gets really cool. So really good stuff. So to summarize, because we probably need to wrap this up, I could sit and talk to you guys all day long. Yes, that was Carol of the Skippy Bells. Frontline Assembly one or some other similar. Well, Machine Storm. Let me say this really carefully. People that make patches that other people can play are rare to find. And Airwave is gifted. Wonderful programmer. A lot of people that make albums make incredible sounds for their albums. If you sit to play them, you might not be able to know what to do with them. And so it's a very, I have been at this since 1988. I can tell you it's a very rare gift with all the people I've worked with to find people that really are able to make patches that you connect with. That you, never meeting me, can sit down at a patch that I made and immediately go, oh, I know how to use this, and make it sound musical and play it. That's a gift. And a lot of people that make patches for their records, that the gift is their record. Their patches. So I have no idea if those guys could make patches. I haven't worked with them. I work with lots of people, and we get to first base, second base, even third base before they go, I can't do this. I didn't realize it was so much work to make patches that are because I have standards that are so high most people fall short and can't keep up. So, and I train all the guys. Anything that's at my website, these guys are gifted, and I have vetted them and worked with them and taught them. Vocalesque is available right now. So when we talk about programmers and stuff, you got to realize it's a special breed that can make patches that people connect with, and that some people, their gift is their albums. Me, I went into my gift is sounds. I work super hard at trying to make sounds that you can sit down at Little House on the Prairie and go start playing, and something comes out that you goes, yes, Vocalesque is on sale right now. So you can get this wonderful Vocalesque library. Yeah, no, I haven't. I'm sorry. I need to update I made this whole thing last night. So, yeah, it's really hard to explain. It's an outside of the box product because it works with everybody's plugins, and then it does so much more. And a lot of that's just because we've worked. Shane has been very dedicated, which is really appreciated, at working with Unify and helping us just keep refining it and coming up with ideas. Airwave, when we were early during the voicing, he all of a sudden was loading Unify plugin into itself because it was, it's a VST audio unit plugin as well as standalone. Well, he would load the VST plugin in, and then by doing that, you could load one plugin that could have 20 layers of sounds. And all of a sudden, my mind was blown, and that opened up so many really cool doors with what we could do with Unify, and we continue to do more doors. The ability to have things where you've got something playing. Let's go to one of these BPM pads, let's Unify, right? So it's got all this really cool stuff with these 4 layers. The ability to just click these guys. And I've turned them off, but they're not off yet until I play new notes. I play new notes. Because I turned them off, there's a mute button, which if you mute, then that goes away immediately. This other way where it's really cool is I can have all of them off. It's actually still playing because I haven't taken my foot off the sustain pedal. So I could go up here and I could say, right? And it's only the plug DX that's got the ARP on it. Turn that on and fun things. This is a really fun library. $19 for Vocalesque, which is insane. It's a $50 library. We got vocal phrases, which are used to make drum grooves. Which are used to make grooves. You know, so, I mean, so much fun. And then the other library that we've released today that is on sale for $19 is ReCycle basses. Turn into BPM basses. Then all sorts of drum grooves. If I go over here and say load into a new instrument layer, because I just want one layer. Anything with large caps is a 4 on the floor. So if I say clobber, you will be clobbered, yeah. If you go to BPM grooves, oh, that's a kick. I don't want to kick. I thought I was getting a BPM chord. Where's chords? C. Jumped ahead of myself. Go over here. Let's say. Okay, done. I'll see you Saturday. Love to you all. Yeah, so those bonus patches, let me get them to you really quick. Sorry, I got sidetracked. It's very easy to get sidetracked. I'm going to end up being a 90-minute. I always do 90 minutes. I try to limit it to an hour, and it just, I give up. I'm a slave to the system. So let's go over here, libraries, to the user library, patches. And you guys probably want these to be a easy install. So let's go libraries. Oh, phooey. I got to fix something really quick. Desktop. This. Then open this up to here. Don't need that. So we want to go over here to the user library, and we can get rid of everything here but the patches, and we only want to keep just Techno Ghost and Christmas Spirit. And so go like that, right? So this way, this will install these patches into the user library for you. So we say compress this. Let's see, Black Friday bonus part 1. And then this is going to get more stuff on Saturday. I'll make some more. So we name it a .guru file. And what that means is now all you'll have to do is drag this over Unify, and it says, hey, anytime I see a .guru file, it goes, do you want to load it? So let's see here. We need to go here. Thank you. Let's see. Let me put this into a Dropbox folder for you. Shouldn't be showing you all this stuff online, my gosh. And this is Plugin Guru Freebies folders. Let's go here, here. Black Friday 2023. Trying to be a little bit organized. I fail quite a bit. And let's see, get this link. So I'll put this into the chat, and I'll put it into the video description. Okay. Bonus library. Actually, bonus, you know what I mean, bonus patches for the user library. Can't believe there's 67 of you guys hanging out. That's awesome. So again, all you have to do is drag that file from, where is it? Here. Unify libraries, Black Friday. Yeah, so you just take this file and drag it over Unify, and it will install into the user folder, user library. Again, you need to own ReCycle Volume 1, and you also need to own Vocalesque.
Push, please,
So it plays the groove.
Ghost, push, please, push, ghost, push,
Right?
Ghost, push.
And then Christmas Spirit Alive is using Labs along with Vocalesque and Unify. So that's very nice. It's amazing how the DX7, these play by itself, and it sounds a little like synthetic, but when you put it into an ensemble with samples, and it hits the right frequencies. Lovely. All right. So just to summarize, and then I will say arrivederci until Saturday. We do a live stream every Saturday, and you're let's see if I go here. Thank you. Okay, so at the website, Black Friday sales are going on for the next 5 days. 51% off on all libraries. When you go to the products page, you can see all of the libraries that are on sale. Yay! If you go to the home page, actually, if you go to the Black Friday Hottest Deals tab, this is how you can see ReCycle and Vocalesque. Unify is here too because it's $59 instead of $79, so it's $20 off. Unify hardly ever goes on sale, so this is a special thing. ReCycle LITE is a light version with like 65 of the patches. There's 180 patches in the full library. And Vocalesque, these two libraries are only $19. They're both $49 libraries, so it's a wonderful deal. There's an update to Unify. If you go to the Unify page, there's a link right here to take you to Ilio, where they have kindly put the updater for the beta, which has smoother sailing operational abilities with Apple Silicone. It's also got a nice updated feature that fixes something on the Flex EQ for making Vocalesque really sound airy and so forth. Just the bass in Vocalesque. Yeah, that bass, I'm really proud of that bass. That came out really cool. That bass, let's see, Vocalesque. It's a combination of two things. Let's see here. It's a BPM split. It's OBXD, which is included with Unify. If you bring up the resonance anymore, you can really, really get the gap. And then I combined that with a DX7 bass from DX. So that's just in there giving a little bit of fuzzy kind of thing. And then yeah, so again, if you go to OBXD, bring up the resonance. And if you want to make it even bigger, this is only 2 voices of unison. You can go up to 32 voices of unison. Which is just a little too God mode. But even like 8 voices is really cool. I mean, it's just amazing. The filter inside of OBXD is just sick. There's a lot of paid synthesizers that can't get anywhere close. I mean, it's just crazy. So, the other thing that's fun is that I'm using MIDI filtering, and we've got separate pitch bin on and off that we can turn off for each of the Guru samplers. So I turned off pitch bend for the synth part. So the pitch bend isn't changing things, but it is on the bass. And then we have a really handy little MIDI filter. This comes in really handy. A lot of synthesizers that have arpeggiators, when you turn on the arpeggiator, the sustain pedal stops working. You can use this to emulate a sustain pedal, and that way it gives you sustain pedal on a synth that doesn't have an arpeggio with sustain that works. But you can also use it to suppress, which means that the sustain pedal is now ignored for the bass. So I can play a chord up here, get a groove, and the left end, I can use both hands now. Right? And if I wanted to, I could check this out. This is really fun. Let's go over here to the mod wheel, open this up, and we have inside of, since Unify 1.10, we added a little golden ear, little guru ear. If you turn this on by just clicking the little ear icon, I'm going to move the filter knob, and now that has attached it to MIDI CC1 as my mod wheel. So now I can and if you even want to get crazier, we could like go over here. If you don't hit oscillator 1 or 2, but instead hit filter, and let's have it do like a square wave really, really fast. I could also hit the little guru ear and then move this. So now, and maybe I don't want the full range. So one of the things that I'm so happy I was able to work with Shane on is that we can change the range and actually hear it in real time, and change the curvature of what the wheel does. Like, I don't want it to do much until I get to the second half. I can even add a break point. So it goes to a certain point at a certain curve. And then when it hits here, I want it to jump. And then get up. And I also want the LFO speed to change. So I could go over here now to OBXD. There's no limit to how many, you know how many synthesizers give you like Spire. I love Spire. You get 2 modulation sources for 1 LFO. That's it. This knob could be changing 60 different parameters on every synthesizer plugin that you have listed inside of Unify at once. It's incredibly powerful. So let's go to the rate and have it start slow, and click the little guru ear and move this. And now we have it so that it goes from slow and I can listen. Like here it gets too slow, too fast. So let's say it start like that and go like that. So now. Let's see. Now let full mount. Yeah, that's about right. So you can custom tailor exactly how much you want, how fast you want, how bright you want it to get. Very fun. So that's all the power of Unify. It's I call it the most powerful plugin out there because it is. It's not the most powerful synthesizer. There's other more powerful synthesizer plugins. But I don't know anything else that can just wield all of your plugins and assign one knob to control all of these parameters of all your plugins all at once. It's just it doesn't, yeah. And you know, the graphics, some people go, well, you got really boring graphics, but it gets busy, and there's some of these plugins that don't do much, and it's super busy to start with. And so trying to keep it sparse so it doesn't get too crazy. Hopefully it gives you the information you want. Anyway, I'm going to say sayonara on this little bonus. Yeah. Taxing on the eyes, and CPU is the big one. You know, if you have a whole bunch of stuff moving on the screen, your computer is working to move that stuff on the screen. And so we didn't want to do that. All the power is dedicated to playing the plugins. Good. Shout out from Amsterdam. Hi, good to see you, Misha. Thank you. I'll do a shout out. At the end of our live streams, we always do a shout out so we can see where in the world everybody is. So shout out from Portland, Oregon. Cool, Kenneth. Yeah. So shout out. Thank you. We do a live stream every Saturday, the same time from 12 to 1:30. And look at that. It's just as if it's Saturday. We got Finland in the house. Love it. The Netherlands. Good to see you, Brom. Oh, Luis. Sometimes we've had some issues where people are using a certain browser. For some reason, the connection to PayPal. Please try a different web browser. Email us at unifysupport@pluginguru.com or the contact link at our website. There's other options. We can send you an invoice. There's all sorts of ways to help you get Unify. So we'll work you out. Kasaka-san in Japan. Domo arigatou gozaimashita. Arigato. Domo. France. Good to see you, Yives. Kendall, Graham, Wales. Look at that. You guys are worldwide, and we're all unified. So. Good stuff. Connecticut. Okay, cool. Thank you all. We will see you on Saturday when we do our usual live stream hangout. Enjoy the bonus patches. Those patches were not with the details, but I will update them and I'll provide those patches again on Saturday as we add more patches, and I'll put down what libraries required. Just have labs, Vocalesque, and ReCycle Volume 1, and those patches will work. Okay. Shout out Portugal, Puerto Rico, and Portugal, both here. Nice. I want to come to Portugal. I have friends living in Portugal. I want to come visit. So, and I'd love to come to Puerto Rico too. Beltram, that's awesome, man. Oh, and happy Thanksgiving. Yes, This is a live stream before Thanksgiving. So I'm not going to be doing a live stream on Thanksgiving or after that, but on Saturday. So we'll see you next Saturday. Thank you for joining. It's been very fun to hang with you all. And thank you for your support and for being awesome customers. And see you later. Okay. Bye, guys.